Hello, everyone. My guest today is Derek Wang. He's an accomplished, published, and recognized academic leader in data analytics and a business visionary. He spearheaded techniques to analyze structured and unstructured data from resources around the web in order to create predictive algorithms for companies across the globe. This knowledge became the foundation for his current company, Stratifyd. Derek, are you ready to take us to the top?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Tell us tell us what Stratifyd does and how you make money. What's your revenue model?
So we're end-to-end customer analytic platform for Fortune 1500 enterprises. So our primary focus is not adding just a thin layer on what the company does, a SaaS layer on top of it, but really rethink how in the AI era, a customer analytic can be powered by machine learning and AI algorithms. So we provide a full platform for organizations to improve their customer retention and their customer satisfaction. So we are a product-driven company. Right now, we're about 30 different Fortune 500 customers, and they're our belly as well.
Sorry, you said 30?
30, yeah.
Yep. That's great. And give me a sense generally of, what are these guys, like, what are they paying for? How much are they paying for on an average month?
So we are our initial deal is typically about in the mid six figures. So this is a SaaS subscription, but they're paying this to finding out problems that their customers throughout their customer interaction data. Primarily, all of the data is from the textual side, their call centers, their emails, their surveys, really getting that omni-channel and the customers 360 coming back from their textual data, letting our AIs to learn what are the issues, patterns, outliers, and troubles they're seeing there, and then specifically getting to their business analysts for them to be rapidly identifying this issue and then take action on top of that.
So did you say the average customer is paying $200,000 per year for the platform?
Mid six figures, yeah.
Okay, got it. But six figures is a huge range. Are we talking like 100 or 200 grand or like 800 or 900 grand?
So we got a big swing there. There's a big company paying us about $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year. We got typical land deals about 150 to 200. That's varies about how widely deployment of our land deal was. For example, if it is department level, it will be 150 to 200. If it is a cross-function organization level, that can go up as high as 600 to 700,000 a year.
Totally get that. And I just want to save us time by not going down every customer cohort. Is it fair to say $200,000 is a fair average?
That's a fair average.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more of the backstory here. When did you launch the company?
So we launched the company back in 2015 with the Fusion Fund support from Lou for sure. And then this is after I've done a lot of work with three-letter agencies in the States where we're building out textual analytics using machine learning help organization. I was a university professor before started the company. And really with two of my co-founders, my postdoc and my PhDs, we launched this after modeling a lot of enterprise to provide this product for the enterprises.
Okay, and again, so what was the first year? The first year you had a customer?
The first year we had a customer is 2015. So we only shipped code in less than 24 months.
Got it. And have you bootstrapped the company or have you raised?
So we bootstrapped it for the first 6 months back in 2014. Then we raised about 3 rounds from 15 to now.
Okay, so how much total have you raised today?
We raised less than 12 million.
Less than 12?
Yeah.
Okay. And why decide to raise capital at all? Why did you need it?
So essentially, it's really why raise money is really how speed up the speed when we go to market, right? We come up with a technology company and then we need to bring in sales and marketing and all that requires cost. But we have a very high efficient sales side so that we can grow the sales team to enter the enterprise side. So the money for us is a war chest, because every enterprise sales probably take 90 to 120 days. So that's the sales cycle we need to weather through as in our business model.
I see. What is talking about sales cycles and specifically the cash component of that, what is your payback period today and what are you spending to acquire customers?
Right. So it's very interesting. In our line of business, not like any other SaaS, which is month over month based on churn-based SaaS model. We are a annual subscription with enterprise. So typically we go with enterprise side on a net 30 every contract. So as soon as our contract is done, they prepay for the first year on the net 30 terms. So our cash flow is very strong in terms of our line of business.
Talk to me though on a deferred basis. So you take that cash flow. I understand you have no cash gap because it's all pulled up front. But when you actually recognize that revenue per month, how many months of revenue recognition do you need to have a payback equaling, get you all your money back?
our profit margins in the high 90s. So
Okay.
really, that goes back really quickly to us.
Yeah,
Now,
not profit margin. So I asked the question in a wrong way. Let me try something else. What do you spend to acquire customers?
Our CAC rate. So our CAC rate is only half of what we are charging the organization
Per year?
per year.
So you'll spend about $100,000 to acquire the customer.
On average deal size, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If they're on average deal size, it's $200,000. Yeah. Okay. So payback period there is about 6 months, all on a deferred basis. But in terms of a cash recognition basis, you're getting it all paid up front, so it's instant.
That's right.
Okay. And what's the team size today?
So we're about 35 people in US.
Everyone's based. Are they all based where you're at today in Charlotte?
About 32 people are based in Charlotte. We're headquartered here. Then we have our Columbus office for the central for sales operation. And then we have our Denver office for the West Coast operation.
Okay, very good. And then talk to me a little bit more about economics. Obviously, churn is critical in a SaaS business. What is your churn?
Our churn is zero because ours is not typical SaaS. We're enterprise SaaS. So every churn here, give me a heart attack. So we have a good customer success team. So that so far with all the customers we have, there's zero churn.
So over the past 3 years, no customers have canceled and nobody has downgraded.
No.
Okay. That's remarkable. Number one. Number two, I don't think I've done about 3,000 interviews. I've never had anyone with literally zero churn. So that brings up two questions. One, you're telling me no customers even downgraded, lost revenue. So even if they're still paying you today, no one's downgraded.
Because we're just going with total contract value that is committed as we go into our clients. No. So far, no good. No. And finger crossed. So the way we structure our business is it's a true enterprise sales, right? So they're paying on an annual basis on a subscription. And typically, we provide enough ROI for our customer. We're pushing for a longer term when we're talking to our customer, right? Typically, our contract years are 2 to 3 years. And those are the ones that they were committed to it for that 3-year period. Although they're paying year over year, prepaid fashion, but those are locked in contracts.
I see what you're saying. Okay, good. That makes sense. So ultimately what's happening here is your sales, you're locking them in on the initial sale. You really haven't had a renewal conversation with most clients because when you signed them, they've been locked in.
Even with the even with 1-year deals that we had earlier, those are renewed. We don't have any loss of the 1-year deal.
And they all renewed at higher price points?
Not all at a higher price point. We 1/3 of our customers we have upsell. Typically, when they renew, it is standard. They just renew on what they have already.
Okay, and what happens to? Okay, so 1/3 you're upselling, the other 2/3 just stay at the same price.
Yeah, or if not approaching their first renewal period. So it's all the entire cohort. 1/3 of them is upsell, and then our upsell includes the amount of annual subscription as well as the duration of the contract, right? So we're selling on both ends for enterprise. But then the 2/3 of that is either in flight or renewed at the existing contract size.
Okay, but there's no one that says, okay, I paid $200,000 the first year. We love the platform, but it's a little too much. We want to go down to $100,000 for the next year. Nobody's done that.
No.
Okay, that's great. And look, I can kind of back into revenue, right? 30 folks, right, paying you at an average contract value of $200,000 puts you at about $500,000 a month in revenue, or about $6 million a year. Is that accurate?
No, not entirely accurate. So the 200 we just approached this year. So 200 is where we are now. When we were earlier, we're smaller deal size, about 20, 30, 40. We also have that deals coming along.
So your new customers signing up today are signing up at $200,000, but that's not an average across your current customer base.
It's not average. Yeah.
Got it. Right. Okay. So talk to me about what you're at today. What was revenue last month?
So revenue last month were about 280 to 300.
That's still healthy. And where were you at about a year ago? Talk to me about growth rate.
Our growth rate is about 350 to 400%, as you can imagine, right?
Okay.
Because the enterprise ramps up, and we're expecting a much larger growth rate in the next quarter or so, as our economics boils down to how many enterprise can we attack and acquire in the quarter period, right? So we only have Fortune 1500 that we're looking at it. the faster we can get net new logos per quarter, the better and the healthier our business will be.
So just to be clear, in June of 2017, which was about a year ago, you were doing about 70,000 a month. You're now doing 3 times that, call it, 280 today.
If not more than that percentage. Yeah.
Between 280 and 300.
Yeah.
Got it. And then walk me through what your net dollar retention is annually. We already know it's above 100 because you said you don't have any churn. How far above 100 is it?
So 154% as of, so average 154. And I think our last quarter is about 172, 173%.
Yeah. So with no churn, I was gonna say with no churn, what that means is you're taking $100,000 contract and you're turning it into the second year is 154,000 on average, right? So it's a 154% net dollar retention.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great, healthy growth. Where do you take the company from here? How do you get to $1 million a month?
So really, it's looking at our pipelines and really sharpen our messaging to our focus market sector, right? So we are looking at additional 4 to 5% times growth in the next fiscal year as we're talking there, and increasing the land deal, like I said, every to 200K per customer, and then accelerate the number of new logos that we get every quarter. So think about this. Our economic is, if we're looking at Fortune 1200 customers be our potential as maximum market cap, and then we can average get 1/3 of that 1200. That's 400 customers that we can get in, and then at 200 pop, that's $80 million AR. That's what we're shooting for.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. What are you if you look at just the MRR you added last month alone, how much monthly recurring revenue did you add last month?
How much what's that?
Monthly recurring revenue did you add last month?
That's what we're talking about, close to 300. 300,000, yeah.
Well, that doesn't make, you mean 300,000 in ARR?
No, 300,000 MRR.
Sorry, my question was, how much did you add last month?
Oh, how much? I'm sorry. Yeah. Last quarter, we almost added 80 to 90,000. Yes, 80 to 90,000.
In MRR.
Yeah,
that's great.
MRR.
That's great growth, Derek. Good stuff. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
It's the Jack Welch Winning.
Winning. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
The CEO from, for me, is Jeff Bezos. I really love Jeff.
Number 3, is there a favorite online tool you have for building your business?
JavaScript.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
5.
That's good. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Kids.
How many?
1.
1 kiddo. And are you married or single?
I'm married. Yes.
Okay. And how old are you?
34.
34. All right, Derek. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Work harder. Just never give up opportunity.
Guys, there you have it. Work harder, never give up opportunity. He came out of academia and said, you know what? I want to make some money now. I don't want to be a broke professor, right? I want to get rich. So in 2014, he launched Stratifyd with his buddies. They now have got 35 people between Charlotte, North Carolina, Ohio, and Denver. They're serving 30 enterprise customers, doing about $300,000 per month today in revenue. That's up about 3x from a year ago. So 300% year-over-year growth. Each customer paying, call it $10,000 per month. They'll call it $120,000 per year. That's on average across their whole base. New customers today are signing up at an average of about $200,000. So they're going upstream, which is great. 154% net dollar retention annually. Again, also a healthy number. Willing to spend up to 6 months of first year ACV on CAC. So about $100,000 in CAC. Derek, thank you so much for taking us to the top.
Thank you, Nathan.